All right, so I kind of went in a different realm, but this one is one that's really special. Um, back in the day, we were talking about earlier was, the reason I think so many people are intimidated about tequila was they had this bad experience early in high school or college where they were shooting tequila, with the worm or something.
We've all had that.
Yeah, well, actually, I did. Mine was more Jägermeister than tequila in college, but anyway. But they have this bad image of, and so it's hard to, and it's taken this long for people to change their perception of tequila. And so one of the brands, it's one of the oldest brands out there, and actually all of them, even Cuervo does a beautiful La Familia, which I think is always outstanding every year. The Trace Generation line is solid. But this one is from the Herradurra family.
Love
and actually the entire Herradurra line is really, really solid.
It is solid.
From start to finish. I mean, solidly good tequila. But I did this one when I did a tequila dinner with them a little while back. And they are actually, this is the last of this edition. So it's kind of special because they're moving to a new one. So this is the Herradurra Suprema
Oh, yeah.
So that's a
Extra
tequila?
Anejo.
That is.
Another Anejo. Extra.
Extra Anejo.
So what does that mean?
That means it's aged at least 3 years. So Añejo is 1 year. Extra Añejo is guaranteed to sit for at least 3 years.
Okay.
Okay. What's interesting about tequilas is once you go past that old stage, it completely starts to change into a beautiful, beautiful story.
When you pull that, my initial reaction was, is that like a bourbon or a scotch? Just from how dark and
Yep.
colorful it was. I mean, you've got two same types of spirits, and then it's so totally different in colors.
Yeah. And again, we're going to go through a wild journey with both of our tastings.
Wild.
Very
Wild
Very
tasting.
wild dirty.
Yeah, see, that has got some rich color to it. Oh, wow.
Again, very cognac inspired.
Yeah.
Double distilled in American oak. This one has a lot of smooth caramel notes.
I must say, it's got a very sweet nose. It's
Right.
very, very sweet.
So one of the things I do whenever I'm tasting
That is nice.
any tequila or spirit, and I do this a lot with food, I actually close my eyes of what's the first memory that comes in. This tequila is not what comes to my palate when I smell this.
Those little caramel candies getting stuck in your teeth is what this reminds me
Correct.
of. It's like I can feel the back molar popping out.
Yeah.
There you go. I love those
Halloween.
candies.
Yeah, the Halloween candies. Just, I can feel it losing a tooth with this.
Those are great candies.
And
Definitely
also-
get that caramel in there.
Kind of some
A
chocolate
little vanilla.
Oh yeah.
Smooth.
Super smooth.
At the end there, it's just very smooth. Kind of leaves you wanting more.
I
Yeah,
don't know
wow.
if you can say that. That's like sex in a bottle.
Too.
That's really
That's-
freaking good
That is
stuff.
That is dangerous
The
too.
Herradurra, you're exact. That was kind of my go-to in the beginning. Was
Yeah.
the Herradurra line.
Yeah.
That's really what I drank quite a bit. And not that I moved on because again, but you're just exploring.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many great tequila and the stories behind them, and really the people behind them. Right.
Right.
And the process that goes into it, it's quite amazing. I mean, YouTube is a great educational platform. If you want to see how the process, they'll bring you in the distillery, they bring you out to the harvesting of the blue agave plants, and it's interesting with the blue agave. These, a lot of people when you're buying a bottle, look for the CRT, right? There is a regulatory group that regulates these that they have to pass. So if you're looking for something that's 100% blue agave, there's a little CRT label on the back of the bottle,
Okay.
that's stamped.
Yeah.
It kind of lets you know, it's a regulatory governance body that it's kind of like whether it's Neapolitan pizza, it's kind of regulating that and making sure that they're meeting those standards and selling you a quality product. So I tell a lot of people, they'll call me and say, hey, just look on the back if it's
Right.
look, see if it's CRT stamped, So
And Anazio, I'll ask you a question. This is one of the things that you made a good point in that last statement was, for a while we had all the standard makers like Herradurra and Cuervo and Trace Generation line that was standard, let's say 15 years ago. And then all of a sudden, the new kids came on the block, and I remember when Penta came out, I was enamored with Penta,
Sure,
and
yeah.
still am. And then, like I remember, I went to Merida like 12 years ago, and that's the first time I saw the Dobel line, and then all of a sudden, the Class Azul comes out, and everybody's enamored because of this pretty bottle, and then all of a sudden I went back and I said, wait a minute. Why did I forget about Herradurra? Like,
Correct.
They were so standard, but you got so captured with all the new people and the new bottling. But Herradurra said, "Oh, I'm sorry. In case you forgot who we are,
Correct.
They rolled this out, and they are not
Correct.
playing."
They have elevated their game.
And look,
there's some, yeah.
And I'm sharing. This is a $350 bottle. But
It tastes like it.
Yeah, I was about to say, you
freaking
could
smooth.
sip on this all day.
Yeah,
Like this
so
is
isn't that extraordinary?
That bottle would disappear rapidly
Yeah.
if left alone.
Well,
Yeah, it's that.
We're
smooth.
gonna come here and belly up at the bar at
Don't
Mestizo.
don't make me cut you.
I think we're gonna wrap on that, and we'll see y'all later. We're gonna go finish this bottle. No, this is absolutely divine.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
extraordinary.
Yeah.
This-
You don't want to leave a sip of this in your cup.
Yeah.
No, but this is also dangerous if this is like your entry into sipping tequila.
Right.
It's like a very much spoilage effect.
Right.
You will get so spoiled on this, you're not going to want to try anything else, which will get pricey.
But as we go forward, though, and because I know the profile we're about to go through, again, like wine, if all of a sudden you find, let's say Frank Family Cab is your jam.
Good bottle.
Frank Family.
Frank,
Yeah,
love some
Frank
Family.
Family Cab.
So good.
I
Well,
wonder who sells more Frank Family than anybody.
It's a good wine, though.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
is solid.
that becomes, I guess, what you can start comparing other cabs to. That doesn't mean that another cab is better or worse. It's all of a sudden that became your lock of what is a good cab, right?
Right.
So that's what's interesting about tequila is you have to let go of old school premonitions of what tequila is, and then also just be adventurous about tasting beautiful tequilas throughout the journey.
And be willing to not just look for the tequilas that you're going to take a shot at a bar with a lime
Right.
and salt chaser.
You
Look for
don't-
something you're going to sit and can enjoy.
Correct.
Add it into your lineup.
Total sip.
Yeah,
So-
that was good.
That was
So,
very enjoyable.
That's nice.
Good
I know I should have
selection.
saved it
So
for last.
hard,
but
hard
I
to
figured
follow there.
It didn't
Austin.
matter.
It really is. I mean, he started off real strong. I mean, if this was a race, he's way up there.
he's
I was
moving.
kind of leading people in,
It's
to this process.
it's a progression,
You
right?
know,
It's a
just a
progression.
clean, simple, clean ranch water. You want to
Yeah.
drink by the pool
Right,
all day long. It's hot outside. Mix it.
You're prepping them for
Yeah.
Cinco.
We're
He's
moving
prepping
on
them
up.
for, either starting their
No,
day
that's
or
great.
I wouldn't want to drink that midway
this is
during
how
the
you're
day.
finishing your day. For
finish
sure.
your day with
You're
that.
definitely
That is a,
finishing your
That's
day.
your nightcap.
Absolutely.
That is a nightcap. That's
Yeah.
a good
That's
way
a
to
good
put it.
nightcap.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff.